In the heart of southern Africa, amidst the rolling hills and ancient rivers, a remarkable claim echoes through generations. For centuries, a distinct people, known as the Lemba, have guarded a profound secret. Their oral traditions speak not of local origins, but of a distant homeland, thousands of miles away, in the very cradle of Abrahamic faiths. They claim direct lineage to the ancient Israelites, a lost tribe carried by the currents of history from the biblical lands of Judea across vast continents to the southern reaches of the African continent. How could such a connection exist? How could an African tribe, separated by millennia and immense geography, hold such a deep, resonant link to the ancient priests and people of Israel? This is a mystery that science, finally, is beginning to unravel. Nestled across modern-day Zimbabwe and South Africa, the Lemba people are a vibrant community, numbering in the tens of thousands. Though they speak Bantu languages like Venda, Shona, and Northern Sotho, their cultural identity stands apart from their neighbors. For generations, they have maintained an unwavering belief in their unique ancestry, a narrative passed down through epic poems and sacred stories. Unlike other groups whose origins are firmly rooted in the African continent, the Lemba steadfastly assert their foreign, Semitic roots, distinguishing themselves through a rich tapestry of customs and prohibitions. Their enduring oral traditions speak of a foundational journey, a profound migration that set them apart, challenging conventional understandings of ancient migrations and the very fabric of identity in southern Africa. The cornerstone of Lemba identity is their sacred oral tradition, which meticulously traces their lineage back to Judea, specifically to a place called Senna, often identified with Sana'a in Yemen. Their elders recount a harrowing journey, beginning with a migration from Judea to Senna, where they lived for many years. From Senna, a group of men, the original patriarchs, embarked on a perilous voyage across the Red Sea and deep into the African continent, ultimately settling in what is now Zimbabwe. Crucially, among these founding fathers were members of a priestly clan, the Buba, who carried with them sacred rituals and a profound sense of their religious heritage. This tradition isn't just a story. It is the very bedrock of their communal memory, a testament to a journey spanning millennia. Beyond their origin story, the Lemba possess a remarkable array of cultural practices that resonate deeply with ancient Israelite customs. They observe strict dietary laws, similar to kosher regulations, prohibiting the consumption of pork and other forbidden animals, and requiring ritual slaughter. They practice male circumcision, a covenant sign central to Judaism. They observe a day of rest, though not always coinciding with the Jewish Sabbath, and they recite prayers in a unique Semitic-sounding language during sacred ceremonies. Furthermore, they possess a holy drum, the Ngoma Lungundu, or drum that thunders, which some scholars have likened to the biblical Ark of the Covenant, a vessel of divine power and communal identity. These practices are not mere coincidences. They're tangible echoes of a distant past. For decades, these extraordinary claims were met with a mixture of academic skepticism and fascinated intrigue. Mainstream anthropology, accustomed to tracing African lineages within the continent, found the Lemba narrative profoundly challenging. How could a Semitic people, particularly one claiming priestly heritage, have survived millennia of migration and assimilation, retaining such distinct cultural markers in sub-Saharan Africa? Was it simply a fascinating but ultimately unfounded oral tradition, perhaps influenced by later interactions with Arab traders or missionaries? Yet, the persistence of their claims, the depth of their cultural distinctiveness, and the sheer detail of their ancestral memory compelled some researchers to look closer, to consider the possibility that these whispers of ancestry held a profound truth. In the late 20th century, a new scientific frontier emerged, offering a revolutionary tool to investigate such ancient mysteries: genetic archaeology. The ability to analyze DNA, to trace genetic markers through generations, promised to move beyond folklore and anecdote, providing empirical data to either confirm or refute long-held traditions. For the Lemba, this meant the possibility of finally validating their ancestral narrative through the irrefutable language of biology. Could the very cells within their bodies hold the genetic fingerprints of their ancient Israelite ancestors? This burgeoning field of DNA research offered a beacon of hope, a potential bridge across millennia, to unlock the secrets encoded within their blood and to address one of the most compelling ethno-historical puzzles of our time. The Lemba's persistent oral tradition, bolstered by their unique cultural practices, presented a tantalizing hypothesis, a living link to biblical Israel, preserved against all odds in the heart of Africa. The stage was set for an unprecedented scientific journey. Researchers would delve into the genetic makeup of the Lemba people, searching for specific markers, for the unmistakable imprints of a Middle Eastern, even priestly, lineage. This investigation would not only shed light on the Lemba's origins, but also contribute to a broader understanding of ancient human migrations, the dispersal of peoples, and the remarkable ways in which identity can be sustained across vast stretches of time and space. The answers, hidden for centuries, awaited discovery within the very blueprint of life. From the ancient, sun-baked plains of Mesopotamia, a pivotal journey began. According to the biblical narrative, a man named Abram, later known as Abraham, heard a divine call in Ur of the Chaldeans, prompting him to leave his ancestral home. His migration, first to Haran, and then southward into the land of Canaan, was not merely a physical relocation, but the genesis of a covenant, a promise of nationhood and a spiritual heritage. This epic trek across vast deserts and fertile river valleys marks the foundational moment for a people who would eventually call themselves Israel. It speaks to the ancient human impulse to seek new horizons, to follow a guiding vision, and to establish roots in a promised land, forever linking their identity to this initial, profound act of faith and movement across the ancient world. Generations followed Abraham, each adding layers to the burgeoning story of a people. Isaac, the son of promise, and Jacob, renamed Israel, whose 12 sons would become the eponymous ancestors of the 12 tribes. Their lives unfolded in the rugged hills and valleys of Canaan, marked by pastoral wanderings, familial disputes, and a growing connection to the land. Yet, famine, a persistent threat in the ancient world, eventually compelled Jacob and his family to migrate once more, seeking sustenance in the fertile Nile Delta. Thus, the nascent Israelite community found itself in Egypt, a powerful, ancient civilization, setting the stage for centuries of growth, eventual subjugation, and the dramatic events that would follow, shaping their collective memory. Centuries passed, and the descendants of Jacob grew into a numerous people, but their freedom was lost. According to tradition, they became slaves under Pharaoh's oppressive rule. The cry for liberation echoed across the land, answered, the narratives tell us, by a reluctant leader named Moses. His epic confrontation with Pharaoh, the plagues, and the miraculous crossing of the Red Sea are cornerstones of Israelite identity, a story of divine intervention and the birth of a free nation. For 40 arduous years, they traversed the desolate, awe-inspiring wilderness of Sinai, a crucible where a diverse collection of families was forged into a people, bound by a covenant, receiving the law, and preparing for their return to the Promised Land. This journey was not just physical, but spiritual, shaping their very understanding of nationhood and faith. From the wilderness, they entered Canaan, a land already rich with history and inhabited by a tapestry of diverse peoples. The biblical narratives speak of conquest and settlement, of establishing a kingdom amidst the Canaanites Amorites, Philistines, and other groups who had long cultivated the land. These populations, including the early Israelites, were all part of the broader Semitic family that populated the ancient Near East, sharing linguistic roots and often cultural practices, though frequently in conflict. The land between the Jordan River and the Mediterranean Sea became a vibrant crossroads, a melting pot where distinct identities emerged and intertwined, constantly shaped by interactions with powerful empires like Egypt to the south and Mesopotamia to the north. Understanding this complex cultural landscape is crucial to grasping the movements of people across the region. Beyond these foundational narratives, the ancient world was a dynamic crucible of human movement, driven by climate, conquest, trade, and the eternal search for sustenance. From the Levant, a strategic land bridge between three continents, ancient routes led southwards. Some followed the fertile Nile River deep into the heart of Africa, a lifeline in a vast desert. Others hugged the Red Sea coast, navigating arid plains and mountain passes towards the Horn of Africa. These pathways, trodden by merchants, nomads, and migrating tribes for millennia, represent a constant ebb and flow of cultures, technologies, and genes. They underscore the reality that populations were rarely static, and the notion of a lost tribe migrating across such distances is entirely consistent with the historical patterns of the ancient Near East and Africa, challenging modern geographical boundaries. In an era before widespread literacy, before scrolls and printed books, oral tradition served as the primary vessel for history, law, and the very essence of a people's identity. Stories of ancestors, epic journeys, divine encounters, and societal customs were meticulously passed down through generations. These were not mere tales, but living memories recited at firesides, sung in rituals, and embedded in daily life, ensuring their preservation. For communities without written records, these oral histories are invaluable, offering profound glimpses into deep ancestral pasts, though often layered with myth, metaphor, and meaning that reflect cultural values as much as literal events. They demand careful interpretation, yet their power to sustain identity and transmit heritage across vast stretches of time is undeniable. These foundational narratives, both biblical and historical, paint a vivid picture of a dynamic region where peoples moved, interacted, and often carried their heritage with them. The Levant, a fertile crescent and a pivotal crossroads of human civilization, has echoed with the stories of countless journeys and the intermingling of cultures. Understanding these ancient movements and the profound, enduring role of oral tradition in preserving collective memory provides a crucial framework. It allows us to appreciate how a people, seemingly far removed geographically and culturally, might still carry the genetic signatures, the silent echoes, of such a distant, sacred homeland, waiting for modern science to reveal the invisible threads of connection across millennia and continents, linking past to present in unexpected ways. Where the whispers of ancestry fade into the mists of time, the land itself begins to speak. From the silent echoes of genetic memory, we turn now to the silent witnesses of stone and soil, the tangible remnants unearthed by the patient hand of archaeology. This ancient discipline, born from curiosity and meticulous study, allows us to peel back the layers of millennia, revealing not just structures, but the very fabric of daily life, the struggles, and the triumphs of those who walked these lands long ago. The Levant, a crossroads of civilizations, holds secrets buried beneath its sun-baked surface, waiting to be rediscovered. These discoveries offer a profound counterpoint to the sacred texts, providing a physical dimension to narratives that have shaped cultures and faiths for thousands of years, anchoring the spiritual in the tangible earth. Our journey into the archaeological landscape begins in the Iron Age, roughly from 1200 to 1000 BCE, a period critical for understanding the emergence of early Israel. As the Great Bronze Age empires waned, new communities began to coalesce in the central highlands of Canaan. Excavations at sites like Ai, Khirbet Qeiyafa, and Shiloh reveal a distinct shift from the elaborate Canaanite city-states to simpler, unfortified settlements. A hallmark of these early Israelite communities is the ubiquitous four-room house, a unique architectural design featuring a central courtyard surrounded by three rectangular rooms, perfectly suited for family life and livestock. Alongside this, a distinctive pottery style, often with a collar rim, emerges, giving archaeologists vital clues to cultural identity and daily existence. These humble findings offer a glimpse into a formative era, suggesting a people establishing roots in a new, often challenging, environment. The landscape of ancient Israel is dotted with tells, artificial mounds formed by centuries of human habitation, each layer a chapter in history. Among the most iconic are Megiddo, Lachish, and Jerusalem. Megiddo, strategically located overlooking the Jezreel Valley, boasts over 26 layers of civilization, earning its place in prophecy as Armageddon. Its monumental gates, stables, and water systems testify to its importance as a fortified city through various periods, including the Israelite monarchy. To the south, Lachish stands as a powerful Judean stronghold, second only to Jerusalem. Its archaeological record starkly illustrates moments of intense conflict, particularly the Assyrian siege of 701 BCE, vividly depicted in Sennacherib's palace reliefs. These sites are not merely ruins. They are grand stages where empires clashed and civilizations rose and fell, offering visceral proof of the turbulent ancient world. While Jerusalem's archaeology is complex and often obscured by continuous habitation, other inscriptions offer undeniable external validation. Among the most significant is the Merneptah stele, discovered in Thebes, Egypt, dating to approximately 1208 BCE. This triumphant inscription of Pharaoh Merneptah, celebrating his military victories in Canaan, famously declares, "Israel is laid waste, its seed is not." This chilling statement provides the earliest extra-biblical reference to Israel as a distinct people or ethnic group, not merely a geographical region. It suggests that by the late 13th century BCE, a recognizable entity named Israel was present in Canaan, significant enough to warrant mention by an Egyptian pharaoh. The stele serves as a powerful, albeit brief, confirmation from an external source, grounding the biblical narrative in a wider historical context. Beyond monumental inscriptions, a wealth of smaller artifacts provides intimate glimpses into ancient Israelite life. Clay ostraca, such as the famous Lachish letters, offer direct insights into administrative communications and military intelligence during the final days of the Kingdom of Judah. Personal seals, often bearing names and titles, speak to individual identity and bureaucratic practices. And then there are the cultic objects, tiny figurines, altars, and ritual vessels. These findings, often unearthed in household contexts or local shrines, reveal a complex religious landscape, sometimes reflecting the monotheistic ideals championed by biblical texts, but often also hinting at popular religious practices that incorporated elements of Canaanite polytheism, such as the worship of Asherah. These material remains offer a nuanced, sometimes challenging, picture of a society grappling with its evolving faith. Ancient Israel was never an isolated entity. It was deeply interwoven into the vibrant tapestry of the ancient Near East. Archaeological evidence abounds for extensive trade and cultural exchange with neighboring civilizations. Phoenician pottery and Egyptian scarabs found in Israelite sites attest to robust commercial links, while Israelite pottery found abroad confirms their participation in regional networks. Architectural styles, particularly in the later monarchic period, often show influences from broader regional trends. The presence of Aramean inscriptions, Assyrian administrative practices, and even Greek influences in later periods underscores the constant flow of ideas, goods, and peoples. These interactions shaped Israel's economy, technology, and even its cultural identity, demonstrating a complex relationship of both distinctiveness and assimilation within a dynamic geopolitical arena. Yet, the interpretation of these silent witnesses is rarely straightforward. Archaeology does not offer simple proof or disproof of biblical narratives. Rather, it provides a rich, independent body of evidence that can illuminate, corroborate, or sometimes challenge traditional understandings. Scholars continually debate the dating of certain strata, the identification of sites, and the precise cultural affiliations of artifacts. The discipline itself is a dynamic process of discovery, analysis, and reinterpretation. Understanding ancient Israel requires navigating this complex interplay between the sacred texts, the material culture, and the ongoing scholarly dialogue. It is a journey of continuous learning, reminding us that history is not static, but a living narrative, constantly refined by new discoveries and evolving perspectives, bridging the chasm between faith and empirical fact. The tapestry of human history is woven not just with the threads of settled civilizations, but with the expansive, often harrowing journeys of displacement and migration. As we bridge the chasm between faith and empirical fact, we must acknowledge that communities, cultures, and indeed genetic legacies have rarely remained confined to their points of origin. From the earliest human migrations out of Africa to the grand empires of antiquity, people have moved, sometimes by choice, more often by force, carrying their heritage with them. The ancient Near East, a crucible of empires, was also a landscape of recurring exiles. The Assyrians, in their brutal conquests of the 8th and 7th centuries BCE, systematically deported entire populations, including the northern Israelite tribes, scattering them across their vast empire. This was not merely a military tactic. It was a profound act of cultural uprooting, reshaping the demographic map of the ancient world. Following generations later, the Babylonian Empire continued this grim tradition. In 586 BCE, Jerusalem fell, its temple destroyed, and a significant portion of the Judean population was forcibly exiled to Babylon. This was a pivotal moment, not just for Jewish identity, but for understanding the mechanisms of diaspora. Yet, even after the return permitted by Cyrus the Great, not all exiles chose to go back. Many remained, establishing vibrant communities that would flourish for centuries, laying the groundwork for a global Jewish presence. Later, under Roman rule, the destruction of the Second Temple in 70 CE and the suppression of the Bar Kokhba revolt in 135 CE spurred further waves of dispersion, pushing Jewish communities across the Roman Empire, into North Africa, and beyond the traditional bounds of the Levant. These weren't isolated incidents, but rather a continuous historical process of dispersal and reestablishment. But how could such distant populations connect? And how could cultural and genetic markers travel from the Levant to the far reaches of Africa? The answer lies in the ancient world's surprisingly sophisticated and extensive trade networks. Far from being isolated, the ancient Near East was a nexus of routes connecting continents. Foremost among these was the Red Sea, a vital artery of commerce that, for millennia, linked the Mediterranean world to the Horn of Africa, the Arabian Peninsula, and even distant India. Egyptian pharaohs dispatched expeditions down the Red Sea to the land of Punt as early as the 3rd millennium BCE, seeking exotic goods like frankincense, myrrh, and gold. Later, Greek, Roman, and Nabatean mariners navigated these same waters, transforming it into a superhighway for goods, technologies, and, inevitably, people. Beyond the Red Sea's maritime highways, a complex web of overland trade routes crisscrossed the African continent. The trans-Saharan trade, though reaching its peak later in the medieval period, had ancient roots, connecting the Mediterranean coast with the empires of West Africa, facilitating the exchange of gold, salt, textiles, and slaves. Eastward, routes from the Nile Valley ventured south, penetrating deep into Nubia and further into the continent. These pathways were not just conduits for goods. They were corridors for cultural exchange, where languages mixed, religions spread, and genetic lineages intertwined. Merchants, artisans, soldiers, and even refugees embarked on these arduous journeys, sometimes settling along the way, establishing new communities far from their homelands. Each journey, each settlement, represented a potential vector for the transmission of heritage. Historical records occasionally illuminate the presence of these scattered communities, offering concrete examples of Jewish life far from Jerusalem. One of the most compelling is the Jewish community of Elephantine, an island on the Nile River in ancient Egypt, dating back to at least the 7th century BCE. Preserved papyri documents from the 5th century BCE reveal a thriving community of Jewish mercenaries and their families, complete with their own temple to Yahweh, existing alongside Egyptian deities. This community, initially likely established for military purposes, demonstrates the capacity of Jewish populations to settle and maintain their distinct identity in foreign lands, even worshiping in ways that differed from the Jerusalem temple norms. The Elephantine papyri stand as a powerful testament to the early, diverse, and sometimes unexpected reach of Jewish diaspora. The existence of communities like Elephantine, coupled with the vast network of ancient trade and migration routes, paints a clear picture. The movement of people, goods, and ideas was a constant, defining feature of the ancient world. This constant flow facilitated not just cultural diffusion, but genetic diffusion as well. Even small groups of migrants, over generations, could contribute significantly to the genetic makeup of a new population. The intermarriage, conversion, and cultural assimilation that inevitably occur within diasporic communities mean that ancestral genetic markers can persist and spread, sometimes far removed from their original geographic or ethnic context. The journey from the Levant to the diverse landscapes of Africa was not necessarily a single, direct path, but rather a complex, multi-generational saga of smaller migrations, trade expeditions, and cultural exchanges that collectively could have carried ancient lineages across continents. Thus, the plausibility of populations with ancient Israelite ancestry finding their way to distant African lands is not merely a romantic notion, but a historical reality grounded in the documented patterns of human movement. Whether through forced exiles, voluntary migrations in search of new opportunities, or as participants in the bustling trade networks, the ancient world was far more interconnected than often imagined. These journeys, often arduous and spanning generations, underscore the fluidity of identity and the remarkable resilience of cultural and genetic heritage. They remind us that the human story is one of constant flux, where echoes of the past can resonate in the most unexpected places, bridging the vast expanses of time and geography, and setting the stage for the scientific revelations of our modern age. The echoes of the past, once only decipherable through fragmented texts and the silent testimony of unearthed artifacts, now resonate within the very building blocks of life itself. For in the last few decades, a revolutionary science has emerged, capable of piercing through the mists of time with unprecedented clarity: genetic archaeology. It is a field that transforms our understanding of human history, offering a molecular compass to navigate the ancient migrations, interactions, and connections that shaped civilizations across the globe. No longer solely reliant on dusty chronicles or weathered stones, we can now read the profound stories inscribed within our own cells, unlocking secrets hidden for millennia. This genomic revolution provides a powerful new lens, tracing the intricate tapestry of human movement and ancestry across vast continents, revealing astonishing links between distant peoples and forgotten eras, promising to rewrite chapters of our collective past. At the heart of this molecular exploration lies a specific, remarkable molecule, the Y chromosome. Unique to males, the Y chromosome is passed down almost entirely unchanged from father to son, generation after generation, like an unbroken chain stretching back into the deepest antiquity. Unlike other parts of our DNA, which shuffle and recombine, the Y chromosome acts as a pristine paternal marker, accumulating only tiny, predictable changes or mutations over vast spans of time. These minute alterations become unique signatures, like genetic timestamps, allowing scientists to construct a precise genealogical tree for the male line of descent. By comparing these subtle differences across populations, researchers can trace the migratory paths of ancestral groups, identifying shared origins and charting journeys long before written records existed. These unique genetic signatures allow scientists to classify individuals and populations into distinct groups known as haplogroups. Think of haplogroups as major branches on the vast human family tree, each representing a common paternal ancestor who lived thousands or tens of thousands of years ago. Each haplogroup has a specific geographic origin, and its distribution across modern populations tells a powerful story of ancient migrations, expansions, and interactions. For instance, certain haplogroups are predominantly found in Africa, others in Europe, Asia, or the Middle East. By mapping their presence and frequency, geneticists can reconstruct ancient movements of people, charting pathways that echo the earliest journeys out of Africa, the dispersal of agriculturalists, or the migrations of Bronze Age populations. This genetic cartography provides a detailed roadmap of human prehistory. While the Y chromosome meticulously traces the paternal line, its genetic counterpart, mitochondrial DNA, mtDNA, is equally important. Passed down exclusively from mother to child, mtDNA serves as a powerful tool for tracing maternal lineages, offering a complementary perspective on human ancestry. Like the Y chromosome, mtDNA accumulates mutations, allowing for a maternal family tree. However, for historical questions concerning ancient patriarchal societies or cultural identities tied to male lineage, the Y chromosome takes center stage. Its direct, unbroken male inheritance offers a unique, focused lens to examine deep historical connections between male-descended groups, making it invaluable in unlocking mysteries of ancient migrations and shared ancestral origins, particularly when connecting modern populations to biblical narratives. The journey from a simple biological sample to a profound historical insight is a meticulous one, rooted in rigorous scientific methodology. It begins with the collection of DNA samples, often obtained non-invasively through buccal swabs from inside the cheek, or, in archaeological contexts, from ancient bones or teeth. These samples are then transported to specialized laboratories, often equipped with state-of-the-art machinery, where the delicate process of DNA extraction commences. Scientists carefully isolate the precious genetic material, amplify specific regions of the Y chromosome, and then sequence them to identify unique markers. Every step is performed with extreme precision and under strict sterile conditions to prevent contamination, ensuring the integrity and reliability of the data. This painstaking work transforms microscopic cellular material into a legible historical record, ready for analysis. Once genetic markers are identified, the real detective work begins. Bioinformaticians and geneticists utilize powerful computational tools to compare thousands of DNA profiles, mapping relationships between individuals and populations. They analyzed the frequency and distribution of specific haplogroups, cross-referencing genetic data with archaeological findings, linguistic patterns, and historical records. This interdisciplinary approach allows for complex genetic trees, illustrating how different groups are related and when their ancestral lines diverged. Ethical considerations are paramount throughout, with strict protocols in place to ensure privacy, informed consent, and responsible handling of genetic information. The power of this science lies not just in revealing deep historical connections, but also in its commitment to accuracy, integrity, and respect for the human stories it uncovers. Through this intricate tapestry of molecular and computational science, human ancestry's unseen threads are brought into vivid focus. Genetic archaeology, particularly through Y chromosome analysis, offers an unprecedented opportunity to validate, challenge, or expand upon traditional narratives and historical records. It provides an independent line of evidence, a silent witness from our very cells, capable of confirming long-held cultural beliefs or revealing unexpected connections across borders and time. This profound scientific capability has transformed our understanding of who we are, where we come from, and how deeply intertwined our histories truly are. As we delve deeper into specific genetic studies, we unlock this field's incredible potential to illuminate ancient mysteries, including the astonishing possibility of tracing a direct lineage to the heart of ancient Israel, bridging millennia with strands of DNA. The strands of DNA, microscopic and intricate, hold stories whispered across generations, across vast continents. For the Lemba people of southern Africa, their ancient oral traditions spoke of a profound migration from a distant place called Senna across the Great Waters, carrying with them a heritage intimately linked to ancient Israel. For centuries, these powerful narratives were largely regarded as fascinating folklore, a testament to cultural resilience and deep-seated identity. But in the late 20th and early 21st centuries, a new science emerged, capable of rigorously testing these profound, millennia-old claims. Geneticists, armed with advanced sequencing technologies, began to collect samples from Lemba communities, seeking to unravel the truth hidden within their very cells. The revelations would not only validate a long-held oral history, but would send profound ripples through the fields of archaeology, history, and religious studies. Among the most striking discoveries within the Lemba population was the significant prevalence of a specific Y chromosomal haplogroup, known as JM267. The Y chromosome, passed almost exclusively from father to son, acts as a direct paternal lineage marker, a genealogical signpost stretching back thousands of years. What made JM267 so compelling was its unique geographic distribution. While rare in sub-Saharan Africa, it is remarkably common across the Middle East, particularly among Semitic-speaking populations. Its highest frequencies are consistently found in regions historically associated with ancient Israel, the Levant, and the Arabian Peninsula. This distinctive genetic signature, identified in a substantial proportion of Lemba men, immediately suggested a powerful, ancient connection, a direct paternal link echoing their oral traditions of a West Asian origin. But the story deepened beyond a general Middle Eastern connection, pointing to an even more specific ancestral line. Researchers then turned their attention to a particular genetic marker, the Cohen-Modal haplotype, or CMH. This precise pattern of genetic markers within the JM267 haplogroup had been robustly identified in the 1990s as remarkably prevalent among Kohanim, the hereditary priestly caste within Judaism. According to Jewish tradition, the Kohanim are direct patrilineal descendants of Aaron, the brother of Moses, making them a lineage believed to have been meticulously maintained for over 3 millennia. The Cohen modal haplotype, therefore, was not just a marker of broad Middle Eastern ancestry, but a genetic signature strongly associated with an ancient, religiously significant priestly line, providing a unique genetic window into the past. The revelation came when genetic studies, notably those pioneered by Professor Tudor Parfit and later corroborated by other independent researchers, found a Cohen modal haplotype present among the Lemba, particularly concentrated within their most revered clan, the Buba. This was an astonishing discovery, a scientific echo across millennia. Not only did the Lemba share the broader JAM 267 haplogroup with Middle Eastern populations, but a significant segment of their priestly lineage carried the very genetic signature associated with the Kohanim of ancient Israel. This was not a mere coincidence. The statistical probability of such a specific genetic overlap occurring randomly between two geographically distant groups was infinitesimally small. It provided compelling scientific evidence, a biological fingerprint of a shared, ancient priestly ancestry, reinforcing their profound oral traditions. The implications of these groundbreaking findings were profound and far-reaching. The scientific community meticulously analyzed the data, employing rigorous statistical methods to assess the significance of the genetic correlations. Studies published in reputable peer-reviewed journals confirmed that the genetic links were far beyond what could be attributed to chance or recent admixture. The shared Y-DNA lineages, particularly the Cohen modal haplotype, pointed unequivocally to a shared paternal ancestor originating in the Middle East thousands of years ago, before the Great Dispersal. These findings not only gave undeniable scientific weight to the Lemba's oral traditions, but also contributed to a broader understanding of ancient human migrations and the dispersal of populations from the Levant, demonstrating how deeply genetic evidence can illuminate historical movements otherwise lost to time. Thus, the genetic revelation offered a powerful, tangible link, bridging an immense historical and geographical divide. The DNA in the cells of Lemba men, passed down through countless generations, spoke a clear, scientific language. A significant portion of their paternal ancestry traced directly back to West Asia, to the very region that was home to ancient Israel. This wasn't merely about validating a legend or a cherished tradition. It was about demonstrating the incredible, transformative power of genetic archaeology to bridge the chasm between oral accounts and scientific proof. The Lemba's story, once a whisper of ancestry, now stood as a testament to the enduring power of lineage, etched not in stone or parchment, but in the very code of life itself, confirming a remarkable and ancient journey from the Levant to the heart of southern Africa. The genetic revelation for the Lemba was, in many ways, a profound validation. Decades of research, culminating in sophisticated DNA analysis, provided robust scientific confirmation of their ancestral claims. Specifically, the prevalence of the Cohen modal haplotype, or CMH, a distinctive Y chromosome lineage, emerged as a powerful biological signature. This genetic marker, found predominantly among Jewish priestly families, the Kohanim, in communities across the globe, spoke volumes. Its presence within the Lemba, particularly amongst their priestly Buba clan, was more than coincidence. It was a genetic echo across millennia, a silent testimony to a shared, ancient paternal lineage stretching back to the Middle East. For a people whose history was largely preserved through spoken word, science had offered an undeniable molecular proof. The Cohen modal haplotype is not merely a random genetic marker. It is a specific genetic fingerprint associated with the ancient Israelite priesthood. According to biblical tradition, the Kohanim trace their lineage directly to Aaron, the brother of Moses. This genetic signature, therefore, suggests a direct paternal link from the Lemba's Buba clan to a population group that form part of the priestly caste of ancient Israel. It's a scientific bridge across time, connecting a contemporary African tribe to the very heart of the biblical narrative. This isn't to say that every individual carrying the CMH is a practicing priest today, but it does indicate a shared ancestry with the historical lineage of the Kohanim, rooting the Lemba firmly within a West Asian genetic tapestry that aligns remarkably with their oral history of descent from Judea. Yet, it is crucial to understand the distinction between genetic lineage and contemporary religious or ethnic identity. While the DNA evidence powerfully supports the Lemba's claims of ancient Israelite ancestry, it does not, in itself, define their modern religious practice or declare them Jewish in the contemporary religious sense. The Lemba are a distinct cultural and ethnic group with their own unique traditions, a blend of indigenous African customs and elements they believe to be derived from their Israelite past. Science offers a historical and biological connection, a thread woven into the fabric of their identity, but it respectfully acknowledges that the ongoing vibrant life of a people is far more complex than a mere sequence of nucleotides. Their identity is lived, not simply inherited. While the genetic evidence for paternal West Asian ancestry is robust, the precise details of the Lemba's ancient migration remain subjects of ongoing scholarly debate. The when and how of their journey from the Levant to southern Africa are still being pieced together. Theories propose various routes. Some suggest a migration across the Arabian Peninsula and down the East African coast, following ancient trade networks. Others consider a path through North Africa and then southwards. The timing is also debated, with some scholars suggesting an exodus around the destruction of the first or second temples in Jerusalem, while others look to earlier or later periods of trade and dispersal. This complexity underscores that history is rarely a single, linear narrative. Was it a single, monumental exodus of a large group, or a series of smaller, successive waves of individuals and families? Were they traders, refugees, or perhaps religious proselytizers? The genetic markers suggest a strong paternal lineage, but the broader Lemba gene pool also reflects centuries of interaction and intermarriage with indigenous African populations. This indicates a dynamic process of integration and cultural exchange, not merely an isolated migration. Understanding this nuance is key to appreciating the rich tapestry of the Lemba's heritage, a heritage that is both deeply rooted in ancient Israelite connections and profoundly shaped by their long history within southern Africa. It's a story of survival, adaptation, and cultural synthesis. The limitations of DNA evidence are also important to acknowledge. While genetic studies can reveal ancient origins and trace migratory paths, they cannot fully explain the why behind historical events, nor can they reconstruct the intricate cultural and religious practices of the past. DNA is a powerful tool for validating aspects of tradition, providing biological proof of connections that might otherwise remain in the realm of folklore. However, it is not a substitute for archaeological findings, textual analysis, or oral histories. Science provides invaluable data points, but it is not a religious text. It offers a framework, a skeletal structure upon which the flesh and blood of human experience, faith, and memory are draped. Ultimately, the story of the Lemba stands as a compelling testament to the convergence of diverse fields of inquiry. Their centuries-old oral traditions, once dismissed as mere legends, have found remarkable scientific corroboration through the lens of genetic archaeology. This synthesis offers a richer, more nuanced understanding of human history, demonstrating how rigorous scientific inquiry can illuminate and honor deeply held cultural narratives. It validates not just a genetic link, but the enduring power of identity and memory passed down through generations. The Lemba's journey reminds us that our shared human story is an intricate mosaic where fact, faith, and folklore intertwine to reveal the profound depths of our collective past. The story of the Lemba tribe stands as a powerful testament to the enduring strength and often overlooked accuracy of oral traditions. For centuries, their narratives of a migration from Judea, of priestly lineage and ancient customs, were held within their communities, passed from elder to child. In an age dominated by written records and empirical data, these spoken histories often face skepticism. Yet, the genetic markers, the Y chromosomes tracing back to the Middle East, provide an astonishing scientific corroboration. This isn't just about validating a historical claim. It's about honoring a people's deeply held memory, demonstrating that ancestral whispers, carried on the winds of time, can indeed hold profound truths, patiently awaiting the tools of modern discovery to bring them into the light. It's a bridge built between the ancient echoes and contemporary understanding, proving that tradition and science, rather than being at odds, can illuminate one another in remarkable ways, enriching our understanding of human experience. This intersection, where the ancient meets the molecular, underscores the transformative power of modern science and historical inquiry. Archaeology unearths the stones and pottery. Epigraphy deciphers the ancient scripts, but DNA archaeology delves into the very blueprint of life, offering an unprecedented lens through which to view human migration, intermingling, and the formation of identities. It's not merely about confirming or refuting old tales, but about adding incredible layers of detail, revealing nuances of movement and connection previously unimaginable. Science doesn't diminish the wonder of the past. It amplifies it, providing a framework for understanding the vast, complex tapestry of human history with greater clarity and depth. It helps us reconstruct journeys that left no written trace, understand relationships between disparate peoples, and trace the pathways of our ancestors across continents and millennia, painting a richer, more vibrant picture than ever before. The Lemba narrative resonates far beyond the confines of a single tribe or a specific region. It speaks to a universal human quest, the search for identity, for belonging, for connection to ancestry. Who are we? Where do we come from? These questions have driven humanity since the dawn of consciousness, shaping cultures, inspiring myths, and fueling migrations. In a world that often feels increasingly fragmented, the pursuit of one's roots offers a powerful anchor, a sense of continuity with those who came before. Whether through family trees, cultural traditions, or now, through genetic markers, this innate desire to understand our place in the grand narrative of humanity is a shared experience. The Lemba's discovery offers a poignant reminder that every single individual, every community, carries within them echoes of ancient journeys, a deep history waiting to be explored and understood. The Lemba's Odyssey, from the ancient Near East to the heart of southern Africa, is a stunning testament to the profound global connections that existed even in antiquity. Long before the age of modern exploration, people traversed vast distances, driven by trade, conflict, spiritual seeking, or survival. Their journeys wove an intricate web of cultural exchange and genetic mingling across continents. This story shatters any simplistic notions of isolated cultures, revealing instead a dynamic, interconnected world where ideas, goods, and people moved with remarkable fluidity. It forces us to reconsider the scale of ancient interactions and the resilience of cultural and genetic heritage across time and space. The Lemba, in their very being, embody this ancient globalism, a living bridge between disparate worlds, reminding us that the human story has always been one of movement, adaptation, and enduring links across seemingly insurmountable divides. What is truly remarkable is not just the journey itself, but the astonishing resilience of heritage. Over countless generations, through conquests, diasporas, and the assimilation pressures of new lands, the core elements of Lemba identity persisted. Their unique customs, dietary laws, and oral traditions, though adapted over time, retained recognizable threads connecting them to their purported origins. This persistence speaks volumes about the power of cultural memory and the human will to maintain a distinct identity, even in the face of immense challenges. It's a powerful affirmation that culture is not merely a static relic of the past, but a living, breathing entity capable of adapting and enduring across millennia. The Lemba story offers hope and inspiration, reminding us that the spirit of a people, their narratives and traditions, can traverse time, waiting for a moment of scientific illumination to reveal their deep roots. In conclusion, the Odyssey of the Lemba tribe is more than just a captivating tale of migration and genetic discovery. It is a profound meditation on the very essence of human history. It teaches us to listen more closely to the whispers of the past, to approach oral traditions with open minds, and to embrace the incredible capabilities of modern science in unlocking ancient enigmas. It validates the struggles and triumphs of a people who held fast to their identity against all odds. Their story enriches our understanding of the vast tapestry of human dispersal, the intricate patterns of cultural transmission, and the enduring quest for meaning and belonging. The Lemba remind us that history is not a dusty collection of dates and names, but a vibrant, living narrative continuously unfolding, woven from the threads of countless individual and collective journeys, all interconnected within the grand design of humanity. This journey into the past, guided by both ancient texts and cutting-edge DNA research, reveals just how interconnected our world truly is and how much more there is to discover. The story of the Lemba is a powerful testament to the resilience of identity and the shared human spirit. We hope this exploration has sparked your curiosity and offered new perspectives on the incredible depths of biblical history and Middle Eastern archaeology. If you found this documentary insightful and thought-provoking, please take a moment to like this video, share it with your friends and family, and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into the mysteries of our past. Most importantly, we invite you to join the conversation. What are your thoughts on the Lemba story? How does this blend of science and tradition resonate with you? Share your comments below. We love hearing from our community. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey through time.